The late news at 11 starts with breaking news.
Here's a live look right now at the Carnival cruise ship Freedom. It's sitting at Port Canaveral tonight. A possible environmental issue forcing that ship to stay right there instead of heading out to sea. It's actually been sitting there for several hours at this point. And thanks for staying around for the late news at 11. I'm John Brown.
Good evening. I'm Luann Sorrell. Let's get right over to Fox 35's Manny Martinez live in the studio tonight. So Manny, we just heard from another passenger stuck on that ship.
Luann, she told us she's staying in a room because it's warmer than the rest of the ship. Carnival Freedom was supposed to leave at 3:30 this afternoon. Boarding started at 10 this morning, and we're told the ship is pretty full. We know the ship holds about 3,000 passengers and 1,100 crew members. Just in the last 30 minutes, we spoke with a passenger who says she noticed something a little off before the announcements even started.
We did see something on the surface of the water around the boat earlier, and that was before they made the announcement. I just noticed there was a lot of iridescence floating on the water around the boat.
Renee also told us the captain announced over the intercom just a little bit ago there wouldn't be any more updates for the night. The ship was supposed to be hours deep into a trip to the Bahamas for its first stop tomorrow morning. Unclear if they're stuck the entire night. Carnival has not explained what the environmental issue is, but we'll stay on top of this story overnight and bring you any updates on Good Day Orlando. Luann?
Manny, thank you. The Florida freeze is sticking around a little longer. Tomorrow morning's temperatures will be below freezing in some areas, but Saturday morning, we could see the coldest weather of the winter. And that is why both tomorrow and Saturday are weather impact days.
It just won't end. Meteorologist Noah Bergen is with us right now. So Noah, even colder temps are on the way before we get to this warm up.
Yeah, John, we just got to get through tomorrow and Saturday morning, and then we're home free. But the change for tomorrow is we're going to see the sunshine for the first time in seemingly forever. But tomorrow, we've got freeze warnings in effect for the counties in purple: Villages, Deltona, Inland, Flagler, Volusia County, up by 75 to Gainesville. That's where air temperatures will be at, or probably below freezing later tonight, heading into early tomorrow morning. In fact, freezing in Ocala, 31 in the Villages, 31 Palm Coast, 28 in Gainesville, 34 in Leesburg. Then tomorrow night, going into Saturday morning, we've got a freeze watch. That means that there's the potential for temps to hit or get below freezing, which is 32. Possible we see that expanded into Seminole and Orange County as we get a little closer. So if you've got plants or anything sensitive outside, you're going to certainly want to make sure you're thinking ahead for that. Look at those air temperatures on Saturday morning: 30 in Leesburg, near freezing; Sanford, Lake Mary, Altamont, Winter Park, Orlando, Kissimmee, 28 in the Villages, and 26 in Ocala. So for some reminders about how to prepare for this cold, this will be the coldest weather we've seen so far this winter by air temperature. I want to send things over now to my colleague, meteorologist Laurel Blanchard. Laurel, what are some things that people should be thinking about for especially tomorrow night with this freezing cold coming in?
Yeah, Noah, it's the 3 Ps. It's people, pets, and plants. And we'll talk about plants right now because especially here in Orlando, there's lots of tropical plants that can't really survive the frigid cold temperatures. So here's a couple of ways of how to protect them. First and foremost, you want to make sure your plants are completely watered. So you can either take a big pitcher or a coffee pot like we have here and make sure your plant is completely doused with water. Ultimately, what this is going to do is if you douse the surface of the soil, this will actually help insulate the roots and hopefully not allow those plants to freeze. And this is exactly what we're possibly going to be seeing as we head into very late tonight, tomorrow, as well as through your Saturday morning. But there's also another way, and this involves a little bit of creativity with this as well. What you'll need is either 2 dowels and a bed sheet in order to make sure your plants are covered. So I have my 2 dowels here, and what I'm going to do is just take this bed sheet and just place it over the top of the plant. And what that we really want to do with this is make sure that the entire bed sheet is going to cover over the plant, not necessarily touching the plant itself. So ultimately what this is going to do is almost make a bubble of air around the plant, and that's ultimately what you want to achieve. You don't really want the sheet to really hit anywhere, and make sure it's tucked under just like this, so it creates a bubble of air around the plant. And what that's going to do is just create that little bit of air pressure that's going to allow that plant to just stay insulated in those very cold temperatures. temperatures we have coming up. We'll send it back to you guys inside the studio where it's warm.
Yeah, thank you, Laurel. And you can depend on the Fox 35 Storm Team to keep you up to date on the Florida freeze. Make sure you check out Good Day Orlando when you wake up to see just how cold things got overnight. Meteorologist Brooks Garner and Jessica Dobson will tell you everything you need to know to start your day.
In a Fox 35 exclusive tonight, the family of this young man has been waiting years for justice. Kavoy Curtis was allegedly killed by a driver who was street racing. Now, an arrest has been made. Fox 35's Kelsey Cairn spoke to the victim's family tonight.
Thanks, Kelly. Back to the cold right now. Turtle rehab centers all across the state are swamped with turtles right now, and that includes the facility in Ponce Inlet. Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie was there today. She joins us live right now. So, Hannah, I tell you what, it's cold everywhere, but these turtles got really cold.
They sure did, John. That's why the great folks at these rehab facilities are putting in the extra work to help get them back where they belong. So they are so busy right now. In fact, while we were there, another sea turtle came in, bringing their intake number for this year alone, since January 1st, to 27 sea turtles.
Yeah, Hannah, we know it's still too cold for them to be released now. We can tell by your earmuffs and your coat. It's cold out there. So what happens when they are nursed back to health?
Well, John, you just gave half of it away. So this turtle rehab center actually has 3 turtles being released tomorrow. But because the water temperature in our area is too cold to let them out here, they're actually being transported to South Florida. And because of the size of them, all 3 are juveniles. One's a Kemp's Ridley, which is extremely rare and threatened species. The other 2 are juvenile green sea turtles. Because they're so small, they're actually being released offshore. So it kind of lets them have a little bit of an advantage. They don't have to come all the way from the beach because being this small, they don't have the energy to get to where they need to go, John.
All right. Thanks a lot, Hannah. Stay warm. It's not just the turtles suffering right now. A manatee also recovering at Zoo Tampa after he was rescued from the cold waters over there. Video shows FWC saving the 1-year-old manatee in Bayboro Harbor yesterday. Now, the manatee had white scars, and doctors say that's likely caused by cold stress. He's in a heated medical pool along with other cold stress manatees under the zoo's care.
New details tonight. A 16-year-old is home from the hospital after she was seriously injured in a fiery hit-and-run crash in Sumter County. It happened back on January 17th. Troopers say a driver in a dark SUV caused a chain reaction crash at the intersection of County Road 475 and State Road 44. Briley suffered multiple fractures and burns. Her father, Joel, was killed. If you have any information about the crash or the driver, you're being asked to call FHP. Inside Central Florida's True Crime Files tonight, the search for Jennifer Kesse continues. Tomorrow marks 19 years since she disappeared. She was last seen at her apartment complex back in 2006. The only evidence investigators have is security video of a man sitting on her car. Her family spent thousands of dollars to get case files from Orlando police. The Kesses say people still reach out to them with leads, and they are not giving up. The Kesse family thanks the community for continuing to pay attention to this case.
All right, still to come here at 11, another reminder that you should not trust everything you read on social media. Several hoaxes spreading across Central Florida, and there are some easy ways to see if it's the real deal or a hoax.
Plus, a Florida police officer fired after accidentally shooting a man with his own gun during a traffic stop. See the body camera video of how this all went down.
All right, first of all, our night lights take us to downtown Orlando, and you're watching the late news at 11 right here on a Thursday night on Fox 35.
Nightlights is sponsored by Ocean Bank, taking business further.
We have live team coverage of the Florida freeze.
We are in western Jackson County. Fox 35 Storm Tracker radar showing some really heavy snow.
The change to ice is working its way closer.
Tractor trailers that would jackknife cars and ditches. Never did I once think I would be covering a winter storm, though, in the Sunshine State.
Well, tonight, police are sharing a warning that pretty much everyone should know by now. Not everything you see on social media is true, but a lot of people still get duped.
Yeah, and this comes after some people shared posts claiming there's a serial killer on the loose here in Central Florida. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth explains how you can tell if a post is real or fake.
Another live look over downtown Orlando tonight, and if you're waiting for the warm-up today, never really got it. That's how we were able to break some interesting records today. And Noah is back with us now.
Yeah, Noah, our high temps today really didn't get too high.
Yeah, in fact, Lou and John, they only moved like 8 degrees from this morning.
Wow.
I mean, we didn't go anywhere. Normally we're in the mid-70s this time of the year, low to mid-70s, and nowhere near that today. Look at the nice trend upwards. 54 tomorrow, 62 on Saturday, near 70 Sunday, low 70s Monday, mid-70s for next Tuesday. Wet roadways tonight, the tourist district on International Drive. I Drive, you see there. Rare cold. If you're here visiting and you're watching the news, I can tell you that this is very uncommon for Central Florida. We've had 2 days in a row with a temperature below 50, and in fact, records in Orlando date back since 1893. And today is just the 15th time in 132 years that we have had 2 days in a row failing to get to 50. The high today was just 48 in Orange County, which is, again, new record. Previous record was 50 back from 1960 for January 23rd. And again, the average high where we should be, we will be next week, is 72 for this time of the year. All right, so temperature right now, 38 Gainesville, 45 Daytona, 43 in Kissimmee, 46 in Titusville. A little bit of a pesky wind, making it feel kind of annoying out there with the wind chill. Coldest air is Saturday morning, as you hopefully heard Laurel a few minutes ago. If you missed it, she was giving advice on the plant situation. So if you've got anything in your yard, even in Orlando, near freezing Saturday morning, cover it with a sheet. Try to elevate that off the top of the plant or insulate the soil with some water. That helps to keep the temperature of the roots warmer than the air surrounding. No rain tonight, but there is mist. That'll continue for a few more hours. Fire and ice this morning. This was from Dan, Pensacola Beach. Memories that will certainly last a lifetime, as I know very well most of you saw on your phone and in the news and online and everywhere else about the Florida snow this week. That is long gone. That system's out in the central Atlantic. Just some snow across the Great Lakes right now. There is cold. I mean, this is nothing major. At 15 in Boston, 14 Philly, 18 Buffalo, 6 in Chicago, 13 in St. Louis, 34 in Austin, 30 in Music City, 51 out in Tucson, near 70 in LA, which is the warmest temperature in the country right now. All right, so overnight, some clouds and mist through about 5 to 6 in the morning. Then the clouds move out. It might take until those of you Vieira, Palm Bay, Mico, Melbourne, Merritt Island, Cocoa Beach, might take till 11 or noon to see the sun tomorrow, but for the rest of us, it's a sunny day from early in the day. Then it gets clear, cold, frosty Saturday morning. Heads up for that. 62 Saturday, 69 on Sunday, 72 next Monday, mid-70s Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll rock and roll back into the 80s by the end of next week.
Noah, thank you. Still ahead tonight, a Florida police officer loses her job after accidentally shooting a man with his own gun. See the new body camera video ahead.
And President Donald Trump signs an executive order to declassify files on Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, and more. What we could learn about their assassinations coming up.
Fox 35 News is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Well, 3 people, including 2 juveniles, are behind bars in Osceola County accused in a series of burglaries. Deputies say that Januel Lugo Sanchez and these 2 others broke into smoke shops, fire vehicles, and even a nail salon between December and the beginning of this month. Now, during the investigation, deputies learned that these suspects burglarized another smoke shop in Kissimmee. And this, by the way, was taken from the Loop Smoke Shop security footage right here. Deputies say the suspects robbed the store at gunpoint. They demanded money from the cash register and took several items before running away. The 3 are now facing multiple charges, including burglary, aggravated assault, and robbery with a weapon. Got a news alert right now. We're about to get more answers into the assassinations of former President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Dr. Martin Luther King. President Donald Trump just signed an executive order to declassify those files. The order requires federal officials to present a plan within 15 days for declassifying the JFK assassination records, and then 45 days for the records of RFK and MLK. The families of the American icons are saying that they would like time to review the documents before the public public gets to see them, so they're prepared for any surprises.
Still ahead, more parental leave could be coming to some Florida parents that would give parents more time with their children.
Well, Florida lawmakers pushing for an increase to parental leave.
A new bill would create 12 weeks of paid leave for state employees who become new parents. Right now, state workers get up to 9 weeks of paid maternity leave for new mothers and 2 weeks off for new fathers. There is currently no requirement for private employers here in the state of Florida to provide their employees with any time off following the birth of a child. The legislature has not yet scheduled a committee hearing ahead of the regular legislative session, which begins on March 4th.
Well, the temps will be cold as you head out the door tomorrow. Then another drop in temperatures, and hopefully we'll get some warm up soon, right?
I think we will. Yeah. Let's send things over to Noah one last time to get a check on our weather. Hi, Noah.
Yeah, you know, Lou, John, you might be a little surprised tomorrow. There'll be this big, bright object in the sky, and you might be a little, caught off guard with what it is. Don't be shocked. The sun is back for tomorrow. I know it's been 84 years, it would seem like, here recently, and that goes away. Colder air tomorrow night. That'll be the coldest of this spell, and then we're up from there. You know, across America, it's cold, but other than the Gulf Coast, the cold to the north is not that uncommon. It's just the Gulf Coast in Florida that's really cold right now. So the clouds, the mist, the fog are out of here tomorrow. The sunshine is in, and we will let the sunshine in all day long into Saturday. Look ahead to next Thursday. 80 in the Villages, 81 in Orlando, Sanford. Possibly a little bit of a sea breeze effect, a little cooler at the beaches. Here's next Thursday. You see it warming up in Florida and the Gulf Coast, which will probably lead to some rain. By the way, breaking out across California tonight. Again, several fires are growing. Unfortunately, there's another Santa Ana wind event getting worse. Hopefully doesn't rise to the event of the Palisades and the Eaton fire from last week, both of which are now more than 3/4 contain the original Eaton and Palisades fire. But between the Gulf Coast snow and the fires out west, it's been an incredibly active start for disasters and extreme events for weather in 2025. Hopefully these new ones don't get too bad. There's one that's up past Santa Clarita off of I-5 in the mountains, but thankfully that is getting more contained as we speak. So here at home, weather impact days tomorrow, Saturday, for the morning cold. Tomorrow, not a lot of frost. Saturday morning, yeah, it is going to be a lot of frost probably. 69 Sunday, 72 Monday. And look at those overnight lows. They stay low next week. This tells you the humidity, even though it gets warm, still pretty dry towards the end of next week.
All right, thanks, Noah, and thanks for joining us here tonight at 11.
Our coverage continues tomorrow morning on Good Day Orlando, starting at 4 a.m. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow.